Yes, we know we're in the middle of baseball season, but for football fans, it's never too early to talk about football. And for those who have been around here long enough, remember when Friday night on the Blue was reserved for high school football? Well, since Donna Larson Park was dedicated in 2013, a regular season high school game hasn't been on the Blue at Albertson Stadium in a decade. That's about to change, though, for one night this season. One night, but not just one game. Mark your calendars for September 1st because there will be a triple header at Albertson Stadium. Sports Director Jay Tuss broke the news and spoke with the coach that's making it all happen.
Cameron, for a long time, I thought it would be cool to bring high school football back to Albertson Stadium. It's been a little while. Sounds like you got something up your sleeve. What is that exactly?
I've been working for a few years on a concept similar to what the Rocky Mountain Rumble is in Pocatello, but really just Idaho-based. Idaho schools versus Idaho schools, showcasing our best talent inside that stadium. And it's been a struggle, but really opening up the line of communications. And Coach Avalos at Boise State and Mr. Dickey are so focused on building high school relationships because they know that we feed some of the talent that's coming in their state. And there's really been a divide, I think, over years past. And a lot of people have found it complicated to get into that venue. But I approached them and they started working with me. And then I got to work with Nathan Burke over at facilities. And we got a really good donor in Southern Solar Pros who's going to cover some costs, and we created an event where 6 schools are going to be playing at Boise State on September 1st. Oakley and Kendrick in a matchup of the 2 state champions from 8-man will be at 3. Emmett and Fruitland in an absolute rivalry that's been there for years and years and years will be game 2 at 5:30. And then Burley and Valley View will be the late game under the lights at 8 o'clock. We worked really, really hard, and a lot of people have got it done, and this really demonstrates the capacity of Boise State really wanting high schools to use their facility and really trying to build relationships with them.
So a triple header on the Blue set for September 1st.
Yeah.
When do tickets go on sale? Can you buy tickets to all 3 games? And what is the celebration of this event going to look like?
Oh, it's going to be an event. The tickets go on sale July 10th. You buy a ticket for the first game, you can stay for all 3. We wanted to make it as fan-friendly as possible. Also, one of the big messages we want to get out there, because of Boise State bending over backwards to help us get this done, and because of Southern Solar Pros jumping in, not only is it not going to cost the high schools any money to play in the game, they'll actually get their gate reimbursed. So home gates really drive schools. The football gates generally pay for most of the other sports to participate, the non-revenue sports. And so when you play in a venue like that, like Boise State or Idaho State or any of those, and you do it in a neutral site game, you are giving up a home gate that pays for many of the things in your athletic budget. I was able to work with those schools over the past couple months, figure out what a general gate was, what some concessions were, and due to what Boise State did for us and Southern Solar Pros jumping in, we're going to be able to reimburse them that gate in the end. So it's a no-risk situation where kids get to play on the Blue, which is what they've always dreamed of.
One of those kids happens to be a pretty highly rated recruit, maybe the highest rated recruit in the history of our state. Gatlin Bear is your wide receiver 1. How excited is he to bring his talents to a place that he's obviously considering playing it at the next level? And that right there probably could be a huge attraction for fans as well, the chance to see Gatlin play up here in Boise.
Yeah, obviously he's finding out the same way you guys are. We just told our kids this week. We've been keeping it under our hats and pretty quiet, and a lot of people are going to assume that that's why this game is happening, but really it's been happening it's been worked on for a while, and I know that Gatlin has told everyone that Boise State's going to be in his top 2, and I could tell you as his head coach, being in communication with him, that's dead on. He's really high on the Broncos, so I'm certain the ability to play in a stadium where he has possibility to play 3 or 4 years of college football and be in that stadium, I'm certain it's something that he's going to love. But he's been on an official visit this weekend down at TCU, so I haven't got to talk to him one-on-one, but he's just finding out like the rest of you, and I know that he's pretty fired up to just have that opportunity.
This is something that seems like it certainly has some potential here, Cameron. What do you envision for the future? I mean, is this a one-and-done thing, or do you think this has the chance to be an annual event and maybe even continue to grow?
No, we want it to become an annual event and grow it, and that's a big push from Boise State as well. They really want to demonstrate to entities like the IHSAA that if we do it the right way and we communicate like crazy, we can host major football events in that stadium. There is some work, but the love for this state has for that university and that building and that surface. People are willing to jump in and help with that to make it happen, and it's every kid's dream to play there. Really, if we can demonstrate this can be done well, next year we want to make it a 2-day event where possibly all 6 classifications are represented in 6 different games over 2 days.
Wow, 6 games on the Blue. How about that lineup one more time? Triple header happening Friday, September 1st at Albertsons Stadium. Oakley's going to take on Kendrick at 3. Heard about the 8-man football there. Emmett's going to take on Fruitland at 5:30. And if you haven't seen 8-man football, it's a lot of fun and a lot of scoring. The nightcap will be Burley taking on Valley View, and that takes place at 8 p.m.